One of the greatest footballers Kenya has ever had, and is still alive today, is one called Mick WECHE. His nickname in the football side is nicknamed as T9. Today we will study him. I am 6 months older than Mick WECHE. Mick WECHE went to primary at Riverbank. He used to stay and still stays, even as we record this, at Madaraka Estate. He is one of the few longest serving residents of Madaraka Estate. He moved to Madaraka as a child, of course, when Madaraka started. Madaraka Estate started in 1974, and the house he occupies now has never been occupied by any other person. The house that we used to occupy when we were neighbors with him, I would not be shocked if it has been occupied by over 40 different people. But Mick WECHE's mother occupied that house as the first tenant. She later handed over to him. He has constructed his own house somewhere in South Sea, but when the residents of Madaraka were buying the houses, he bought it, and the person staying in the house is his tenant. So the people who were in the court that he was staying, MF 39 to MF 41, decided to name his court as WECHE's court, because he was the most famous person in the court, and he was the most famous person in the estate. So other courts started giving themselves names. There is Karura Court, there is Amani Court, there is whatever. But it is only the WECHE's court that is named after an individual, and that is Mick WECHE. As I said, Mick WECHE went to Riverbank Primary School, next to Moranga Road Primary School. Moranga Road Primary School is no longer primary school, because they said that they should not have two schools neighboring each other, and the enrollment in Moranga Road Primary School was so low that it has now been converted into a full primary school. Mick WECHE went to Riverbank. He had a brother, his immediate elder brother. They were four. 2 brothers, 2 sisters. The brother was called Patrick Olei, and Mick WECHE, we used to call him Mickey. When we were young, we used to call him Mickey. But the mother used to call him Michael. Every time the Michael. But we used to call him Mickey. Secondly, I cannot remember this. I always keep confusing that he went to Jamhuri High School. But every time I try to say he went to, I remember it is his brother, Patrick Olei, who went to Jamhuri from Form 1 to Form 4. Patrick Olei is a pioneer of Kolanya High School advanced level. After studying in Jamhuri up to Form 4, he went to Kolanya High School for Form 5 and Form 6. During our time, schools that ended up to in Form 4 used to be called secondary, and schools with Form 5 and 6 used to be called high school. Mickey never went to high school. He completed Form 4. But what I can say, between MF 39, MF 40, 41, 42, 43, and 44, there is a field there. People wanted to grab the field. Residents of Madaraka refused and said it should be the field for their kids to play on. Up to today, it is called WECHE's field. That is where we used to play football. I used to play football with Mick WECHE. And within Madaraka Estate, we used to have an international player called Jonathan Niva. So we used to look up to him. But what I can say is that Patrick Olei, Mick WECHE's immediate elder brother, who went to Kolanya for high school, was a far more better footballer than Mick WECHE. But what is different is, to me, he looked like somebody who could be a preacher, Patrick. And recently, 5 years ago, I met, they had two sisters. One was called Kay, and the other one I've forgotten her name. But this one whom I've forgotten her name, I met her sometime at WECHE's house. And when I told her that, I used to get the impression that Patrick Olei would be a preacher. She told me that he is now Reverend Patrick Olei. He was a better footballer than Mick WECHE, but Mick WECHE has the enthusiasm. Alikuwa anapenda mpira. Every time you see him playing the ball, especially headi, kuchukua mpira unagongesha kwa ukuta 1, 2, 3. Some of us, we would be lucky to reach 7. Sana sana tukwaga 5. But him, he would be there 32, 33, whatever. Every time he would look for a wall and start heading. And then classwork, I remember the mother used to call us and say, ongelesheni Michael, hakuna pahali kitabu mpira tampeleka. The mother wanted him to join A-levels. All of us, me included, joined A-level. Mickey did not join high school. But whenever I visit him, the trophies, the house, the way they look, and when we talk, Mick WECHE tells me of the countries he has visited. Me, I've never visited any other country, apart from the neighboring countries where as a security officer I would go there, less than 5 kilometers away from Kenya. So Mick WECHE is an example of where, you know, during the time, we who grew up in the 70s, we were brought up thinking that education is everything. CBC has come up to say you can make it in life in a non-academic field. Then President Kenyatta died in 1978, and we had to leave Madaraka. My father was transferred elsewhere. When he was transferred elsewhere, I remember when I joined the police, we used to hear of Mickey WECHE playing for AFC Leopards. It never occurred to me, because I'm not a person who is very good in football. It never occurred to me that he's the one. Then one day when I was on leave, my brother Pius Kareithi came and told us that mnasikiaga huyu Mickey WECHE, Mick WECHE. Mick WECHE ni yule Mickey wa mpira wa AFC. We differed with him until one day he was shown in the newspaper, and then we saw Mickey ndio Mick WECHE. The name T9, in the 70s and 80s, it was rumored that a rabid dog or a rabid hyena or a rabid jackal had been discovered in Tanzania, and it was killing animals and people. So it was called T9. It was said that a rabid dog, when it bites you, if you rush to the hospital, utapona. But they were saying that a T9, after biting you, even if you are in the hospital, you'll die. So Mick WECHE, being a defender, na vile anakabilia watu wengine ilikuwa ni wanawakabilia in such a way that you could not pass him and score, and that is why he was called T9. Lastly, I have to talk of two things before I switch off. The first thing is that we started playing football at WECHE's field in Madaraka. But even after that, we moved in a place, an open field, which today is Nayo Stadium. When we were young, it was just an open field. Okay, we used to see some women there on the side planting ngwashe, planting such things, and mihogo. It is only recently that I came to understand that it was Catherine Kasavuli and her mother who were planting ngwashe and mihogo there. But for us, we used to play football there. Later, Moi came and turned it into Nayo Stadium. The last thing I want to say about Mickey, you have heard me repeatedly saying, Mick WECHE's mother, Mick WECHE's mother, Mick WECHE's mother. I hope you are asking yourself, was he a son of a single mother? No, he was not. His father used to work abroad in Germany. We were used to our fathers working for 11 months and going on leave for 1 year, for 1 month, sorry. But Mick WECHE's father used to work in Germany for up to 2 years, up to 18 months or something. Then he would come back to Kenya and stay for 3 months. Now, when staying for 3 months, he would briefly visit their royal home, but since his wife and 4 children were in Madaraka Estate, most of the time he used to spend in Madaraka Estate. When we close schools and our parents have gone to work, he came and introduced a new game to us, which was called King Ruka. We used to know about the original king, which was drafts, which was brought up by Hitler, but he came and taught us King Ruka. I hear there is another type of king, I don't know, I mean another type of draft which I don't know, but the person who taught us King Ruka was Mr. WECHE, WECHE's father. That is Mick WECHE for you. Let us celebrate him when he's alive and healthy.